Hi, wrestling fans. Thanks for clicking today's Reddity Rose report. Let's see what kind of silliness I got going today. WWE's website's got an article up looking at the WWE superstars in Ring of Honor. They spoke with Antonio Cesaro, Seth Rollins, Gabe Sapolsky, let's see, Daniel Bryan, and Colt Cabana for this piece. I'm not going to read it all right here, but hey, WWE's Extreme Rules, the 2014 pay-per-view, would not be held at Seattle after all. It's going to be taking place May 4th at the Izod Center, East Rutherford, New Jersey. The tickets officially go on sale February 22nd, so start saving. You might want to take a while to save up that money. Naomi, she was praised backstage at Monday's Raw for her toughness when she finished the match with Oksana after suffering an eye injury, which I think caught her on the orbital bone of the eye socket, which she probably couldn't even see out of that one eye for a while. And if you've ever had anything in your eye and was driving a car and had a patch over it, oh, your depth perception's gone. Major WrestleMania 30 creative meetings were held over this past week with several discussions, changed. But while many of the scenarios were brought up, at least one source in WWE Creative doesn't expect that a lot of changes are going to be made. While it appears, though, that they're going in the direction of Kane versus Daniel Bryan after this week's TV show, sources didn't really expect Daniel Bryan versus Bryan to be changed. But regarding that match, nobody in WWE expects Bryan to go over. Regarding recent, Batista versus Brock Lesnar tease on TV, the feeling is that it's being done for something to be later, done at one of the later pay-per-views in the year, not at WrestleMania. And, in my opinion, I think everybody wants, the wrestlers want to be the main event. Well, they usually have a main event, then they have maybe two main events. Why not, if they can do this, which I doubt if they could, have a pay-per-view, call it main events. Every one of the wrestling matches on there are main event matches. Could outdo WrestleMania if they could do it right. WWE shop website has released a new Royal Rumble commemorative plaque as well as retro t-shirts for my buddy George Animal Steel, Vader, and the late Bam Bam Bigelow. By the way, Scott Stanford, who still tapes shows, for the company, noted on Twitter that he was nominated for the Best Sports Anchor Emmy Award for his work with the local NBC affiliate in New York City. Stanford now works as an anchor for WPIX 11 in New York. Don't know, that's one of the lesser. I don't know if that's owned by NBC or not. It probably is. Anyway, as noted earlier this week, WWE officials, including Stephanie McMahon, are trying to bring in STACY Keibler back to the company, possibly for a Hall of Fame induction. That's kind of rumored. They also want STACY to bring, bring herself in some sort of a role to WrestleMania 30 weekend anyway. And there's also talk about her having her do some backstage correspondence role for the show, which I thought she did that a while back when she was in WWE, interview people in the back. And it's not confirmed that she's going to, for sure sign the deal with WWE, but it's her name was definitely talked about in different scenarios. And last week, as a way of for WWE to legitimize themselves during WrestleMania 30 weekend, I guess that I never heard of her thinking of her being legitimizing anybody except George Clooney. John Cena was kept off of Monday's Raw due to the swelling in his eye, and the feeling is that they'll probably have to give him another week off. They don't want him to look bad when he comes back. They don't want to look like he got beat up by whoever. But the injury was described as a situation where Cena had just caught a fingernail to the eye in a live event with live show non-taped with Randy Orton. There was some concern that the cornea might have been scratched, but that wasn't the case, I guess. The idea to keep Cena off TV so they wouldn't have to do a close-up on camera of his face or anything like that. So they could keep it at a distance, I guess. As long as his eyes open. Don't want to look like he's winking at Randy, do we? While CM Punk may feel that the match with Triple H at WrestleMania 30 is a step down, That's not how it's being seen backstage amongst his co-workers. Most of WWE talent see the WrestleMania match with Triple H as being a very big deal. And I would have thought that would be a main event. They usually always have two main events there. All right, fans in the UK last week were speculating that Rockstar Spud and Ethan Carter III may be heading for a feud with the Wolves after Ethan and Spud debuted their match attire for the first show on the tour. Don't know where it happened on that. And I mentioned this, I think, yesterday or day before. According to promoters ECW Original, Sandman wants to box George Zimmerman, who has thrown his name into a hat for a celebrity boxing match. Promoters haven't picked Zimmerman's opponent yet, but celebrities such as DMX, Floyd Mayweather, The Game, Kanye West, and even TNA star Kenny King said they would like to box Zimmerman. By the way, TMZ just reported that DMX will be taking on George Zimmerman, the rapper. DMX, the rapper, not George Zimmerman, the rapper. All right, Evan Bourne posted a photo from either the WWE studios or the offices, somewhere Tuesday, with the captions, "Shh." So that's kind of leading to speculation that he's going to be returning fairly soon. And former star, remember Mike Mondo of the Spirit Squad? Anyway, he's retiring from pro wrestling, he said. He wrote on his Facebook page, he says, "My run for being a pro wrestler has sadly came to an end. Time to really start thinking outside the box to secure my future," which a ton of wrestlers need to do that. Have a couple of ideas, going to start acting on them and promptly see where it goes. But I think he's been in Ring of Honor for quite a while. And at one point, I think it was last year, if I remember right, that he broke his leg. And I don't know whether that's kind of, came into play there or injuries or what. But boy, he was rough in that place. Hey, Mick Foley's going to be releasing a 10-minute documentary on comedy shows next week on YouTube. And there's talk at Monday's Raw that Alberto's making noise again about leaving WWE once his contract expires. Hey, at least when it expires, at least he'll be leaving. But anyway, Del Rio, he's kind of frustrated going from the top guy in SmackDown brand to someone who is fed to Batista. I thought Ryback likes to be fed, but apparently Batista does too. And there's a feeling amongst Del Rio, people know Del Rio, already having talked about retiring and his age and the fact that he's a success in Mexico, maybe it's time for him to leave and be happy rather than hang on too long. Some do. Former TNA Knockout Champion Madison Rayne, 28 years old, and former WWF World Heavyweight Tag Team Champion Luke Graham, 74 years old. Here's a couple of things that I didn't get to tell you from the weekend. I hope it's still relevant. With the drama unfolding in WWE this past week, anyway, WWE Creative now looking at different options for WrestleMania 30. Well, anyway, first it's Daniel Bryan taking on Triple H with the possibility of a stipulation that Bryan get a shot at the World Heavyweight title at Extreme Rules in Seattle. That'd be good. If Bryan ends up working with Triple H at WrestleMania, they're probably going to put Sheamus in a match with Kane. And John Cena versus Bray Wyatt and Batista versus Randy Orton would still be happening. So far, that's the way it's going. Another option is John Cena taking on Triple H, Sheamus taking on Bray Wyatt, Orton taking on Batista, and Bryan in a three-way for the belt. Other options is Sheamus and Triple H, Cena and Wyatt, and Bryan, Orton, and Batista in the three-way. Anyway, the latest on Sting is that he's still not signed with with WWE, but general feeling is that it's a foregone conclusion he's coming in. So while he's not expected to rush into a match or anything at WrestleMania 30, word is, and I think it'd be a good idea right now for Sting to possibly become the new Raw general manager. I think it'd be a hell of a deal. As noted also, Raw been rewritten many a time because of CM Punk leaving, and they had Bryant come out and do an in-ring promo at one of the shows, so he'd get on the crowd's side rather than trying to get him to forget about Punk for right now. And regarding reaction at the Royal Rumble, Randy Orton was reportedly irate backstage after the crowd hijacked his match with John Cena. The split between Cody Rhodes and Goldust may be coming at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. While the tag match is expected, there's plans for Cody versus Goldust at WrestleMania 30 this year. Goldust originally wanted that. Now he says, well, I don't want it. Well, as soon as you say you don't want it, they're going to give it to you. But anyway, once that deal expires, his wrestling deal, they extended it, Goldust's, through SummerSlam. Once that deal expires, he's expected to become an agent backstage. And there's early push within WWE to book more shows on the West Coast during December, January, and February next year because of all the bad weather that the East Coast has got this year. And tell me about it. WWE was initially, they were kind of disappointed at the reaction Batista got upon his return, but the ratings came in and they were high, so officials decided that it wasn't Batista's fault. They blame it on the fans in Dayton, Ohio, and the feeling now is Dayton won't be getting a pay-per-view anytime soon. They didn't go nuts enough for Batista. So, that'll show them. Alright, WWE's published a playlist of the most vicious chair shot attacks. And wrestling legend Dennis Condrey turns 62 years old. This was over the weekend. And Nick Mitchell turns 41, WWE star. Mick Foley briefly spoke with Newsday about smashing a TV last week in protest of WWE, the way they've been treating Daniel Bryan. He said that made him feel better. All right, Diamond Dallas Page going to be appearing on this February 21st ABC Shark Tank to pitch the DDP Yoga in an attempt to get some investors going. And WWE is still selling, hold on, the Punk's merchandise this weekend at live events, and according to fans in attendance the other night. NXT's Lana and Alexander Rusev made their SmackDown debut in a promo the other night, and Rusev, other than the Royal Rumble, spoke in Bulgarian, and Lana said Rusev's hits, Rusev's crushes, and what appears to be their new catchphrase, as it is retweeted by WWE. Rusev said that Rusev's legacy begins now. So Rusev hits, Rusev crushes. That's to get you used to saying his name, I guess. Thanks for clicking, you guys, and hanging in there with me. I gotta go.